Ladies and gentlemen, in the field of pharmaceutical development, major innovations have emerged in recent years, such as personalized medicines, immunotherapies, and gene therapies. They offer patients new possibilities to fight their disease. However, their optimal use often remains poorly documented, leaving patients, doctors, and society with many questions. We often expect that a new product comes automatically with improved outcomes, but innovative does not necessarily always mean better. In fact, only 10% of new medicinal products come with a notable therapeutic advance. These sobering results, reported by different sources, are in line with a report by the Belgian Knowledge Center, the KCI. The KCI assessed 40 new oncology drugs introduced over the years 2004 to 2017 in 12 advanced cancer types. When outcomes were assessed, no detectable impact on survival was found for half of the tumor types and only a small effect was found for the other half. How can we explain this? On the one hand, regulator and health insurance systems want to give patients fast access to innovative treatments that appear promising. On the other hand, the clinical data available is often limited or immature. Some patients may be willing to accept this uncertainty about drug benefits in order to access investigational, untested products sooner. But then again, patients and even clinicians may not always be aware of the limited level of evidence accepted by the regulators to allow products entering the market. From the perspective of the pharmaceutical company, time to market and reimbursement is obviously a key element in the calculation of return on investment. Generating clinical data is costly. So, unsurprisingly, under the current reimbursement practices, most of the time companies only generate the data needed to pass the regulatory hurdle. However, clinical decision-making needs more data. There's a need to bridge the gap between evidence for approval and optimal evidence for clinical decision-making. Early scientific advice plays an important role here. Not only the advice provided by regulators, but increasingly also by HTA bodies. The gold standard for regulators like EMA is the randomized control trial with an appropriate comparator and patient-relevant endpoints. We need to respect this gold standard approach as much as possible. Deviation from this approach must be well justified and agreed upon during the early scientific consultations I mentioned. Despite the efforts in the pre-market clinical development to answer the most relevant questions, including on optimal dose and treatment duration, inevitably additional research questions will remain. Notably in oncology treatments, those questions are multimodal. When new agents are integrated in therapeutic strategies, sound clinical evidence from a patient perspective is paramount. Oncology treatment is a complex field, and questions on the sequencing of treatments or combining treatment modalities like radiotherapy typically remain. Other questions concern dose de-escalation, the identification of predictors or better predictors of treatment benefit and harms, or markers of treatment response. Treatment optimization trials can help here. They can identify true innovation and facilitate access decisions. In Europe, EORTC, as a long-standing independent institute, sets up and conducts key treatment optimization trials to address these questions. We should explore how at European level, organizations like EORTC could help answer research questions that also HTA bodies and payers consider crucial after product launch. Uncertainty is a reality in reimbursement files today. The real added value and cost effectiveness of many medicines can best be tested when the medicine is used by patients. We then speak of real-world evidence. However, we need to professionalize the approach. Real-world data collection needs a valid research design, adequate research questions, and research methods, also in the field of data collection and processing. Randomization must be used as much as possible. And we need a good balance between drug development and independent clinical research for a continuum of optimization. Optimization should start as early as possible and continue to go far beyond marketing authorization. Finally, the evidence efficacy gap demonstrates a tension between business priorities and patient benefit. It is therefore key to also involve patients and identify unmet health-related needs. With the Belgian presidency of the Council of the EU, we seize this opportunity to put the topic of addressing unmet needs on the agenda. We'll organize a high-level conference dedicated to the topic on the 17th and the 18th of April, entitled Health-Related Needs as Drivers for Healthcare Policy and Innovation. It draws on a project by KCE and Cienzano aimed at elaborating a scientific approach to identify disease-specific unmet health-related needs. The central idea is to ensure that government expenditure and public funding are used to address real health-related needs of patients and society. In order to do so, we suggest that needs should be defined independently of the products that are in the pipeline of development. Only by defining health-related needs upfront can we subsequently guide decisions of researchers, research funders, regulators, and health technology assessment bodies. To steer private and public R&D investments to the highest unmet needs, it is therefore important to know where needs are highest. I would like to emphasize here that in this context, solutions for health-related needs evidently go beyond pharmaceutical products. They also include other types of treatment, diagnostics, prevention solutions related to the organization of the health system. This brings me to my final message. While a lot of the discussion today will focus on cancer, a lot is valid in other disease areas as well. Identifying regulatory tools and joint initiatives to address research priorities that have the greatest public health impact, also beyond cancer. Supporting and prioritizing independent clinical research on treatment optimization and multi-stakeholder collaboration, also beyond cancer. Bringing up to knowledge and speed all stakeholders on the principles of treatment optimization, including on principles to structure treatment optimization in the regulatory process. Aligning and coordinating the role of the different stakeholders in the process of drug development into access alongside their roles, competencies, interests, and needs. All this is necessary beyond the field of cancer. Cancer is an area where a lot of innovative research and policies started and tested before being rolled out in other disease areas. I wish you all a very interesting workshop. I look forward to the outcomes of today. Thank you.